Viewers is a family of magicians who possess very unique powers. However, a mischievous boy is using these powers to eliminate his own family. Will the existence of these magicians' family be restored in the end? This will soon be revealed. At the beginning of the story, it is mentioned that in the 17th century, there were special families with unlimited powers, but now Russia and many witches have started to eliminate this family. Therefore, all the families moved to America to live. After this, certain rules are established among these special families, such as they cannot reveal their powers in front of humans. By following these rules, they have survived until now. We then see a college student party where a boy named Caleb has come with his 3 friends. In fact, all 4 of them belong to the same witch family. All children of this family receive their initial powers at the age of 13, and when they turn 18, they gain their full powers. Now, Caleb's friend, whose name is Puck, has brought his girlfriend and her friend to the party. Caleb likes the girl at first sight. While they are all talking normally, an argument breaks out between Puck's girlfriend and another girl, which attracts the attention of the second girl's boyfriend, who starts yelling at Puck's girlfriend. At this moment, Caleb enters and secretly uses his powers, causing a disturbance. Caleb and the others secretly use their powers while enjoying the party. Suddenly, the police arrive at the scene because they have received reports of drug use in the area, prompting college students to start fleeing. Caleb and his friends quickly get into a car and try to escape. The police begin chasing Caleb's car, but what's surprising is that as they head towards a ditch, Caleb pushes the entire car down with his friends. The police are left astonished, not knowing where they went. In the next moment, Caleb and his friends come back with their unique powers, deceiving the police and escaping while leaving them behind. Caleb then goes home to his mom. Caleb's mom was telling him that his 18th birthday was approaching, after which he would receive all his powers. However, she also warned him that these powers could be misused. If a magician excessively uses their powers, it can rapidly age them. This is what happened to Caleb's father. In fact, Caleb's father had misused his powers so much that by the age of 40, he had aged significantly and could hardly move. Caleb listened carefully to his mom's advice. Meanwhile, the police were investigating in the woods when they discovered the body of a student who had been killed in a gruesome manner. When Caleb learned about this news, he immediately suspected his friend, Sweet. It seemed that Sweet was misusing her powers to harm people. Now, Caleb was trying to call Sweet to discuss everything. He was in his car when suddenly the same murdered boy appeared in the passenger seat, the one whose body the police had found. Seeing this, Caleb became extremely scared, and in his panic, he lost control of the car and was about to crash into a large truck. However, he managed to use his powers to save himself and the car. But Caleb couldn't understand why all these things were happening to him. He went straight to Puck and his girlfriend, where Sweet was also present. They had planned to watch a movie together, but Caleb hesitated. Sweet was agreeing with him, which made it seem like there was something going on with her. Caleb, Sweet, and Puck then decided to go for a long drive. On the way, Caleb felt uneasy, so he parked the car in front of an abandoned house. He asked Sweet to wait in the car for a few minutes while he went inside. This haunted house used to belong to Caleb's father, who used to visit regularly to receive medication. Caleb's father had become very old due to the excessive use of his powers. He couldn't move an inch from his place. After getting the medicine, Caleb returned to his friends for a party. There, Caleb's friend Reed got into a fight with some people. Reed, who was very aggressive, used his powers to confront those boys. However, he was hesitant because it was against their family rule to show their powers in front of humans. But Reed was determined and used his powers against Caleb, trying to prove he was stronger. Caleb, trying to avoid a confrontation, accidentally pushed Reed away, which only fueled Reed's anger. Without saying anything, Reed stormed off, leaving Caleb even more suspicious that Reed might be involved in the murder of the girl found in the woods. Later that night, Caleb had a dream where large marks appeared all over his body, crawling into him. He woke up terrified, unsure of what was happening, but eventually realized it was just a dream. The next day at college, Caleb met a new friend named Jack, who had just enrolled. They participated in a swimming competition and started swimming vigorously. However, Caleb noticed something strange about Jack's eyes, which startled him. In a moment of distraction, Caleb collided with a wall. When his friends pulled him out, Caleb began to suspect that Jack might also be a witch because he had seen Jack's eyes clearly. Later, Caleb went to the college library to gather more information about Jack. He learned that Jack's father had died when he was young, leaving him alone. However, this information did not prove that Jack was one of them. So, he went to the family book with Pock and Reed, which contained the names of all the descendants of the witch families. They started reading the book together. In the family book, Caleb found that Jack was the last member of a fifth witch family, which meant Jack had powers similar to theirs. These powers could potentially be dangerous since Jack had turned 18 and now possessed all of them. Caleb began to suspect that the boy's death was not caused by Reed, but rather by Jack. Reed also swore to Caleb that he had never committed murder. Meanwhile, at college, the principal called Jack into his office, informing him that a boy had been murdered the previous night, and Jack's ID card was found at the scene. However, Jack cleverly misled the principal, claiming that his ID had been stolen, perhaps by that girl. Jack then calmly left the office. Later, Caleb had another conversation with his mom about his spider dream, where she revealed everything to him. Meanwhile, Reed's girlfriend was in very bad shape, with deep marks all over her body. After examining her, the doctor concluded that these were the marks of spider bites. Hearing this, Caleb and Reed were extremely tense. Caleb took his bike to meet his girlfriend. On the way, he ran into Jack, who was aware of the chaos that had unfolded. Reed immediately attacked Jack, but Jack's powers were so great that Reed couldn't even touch him. Now that Jack was fully 18, his powers were much stronger. Jack retaliated against Reed fiercely. When Caleb rushed home, he found Jack already there. Caleb asked Jack what he wanted, and Jack revealed his true motive. He wanted the powers of the richest witch child so that he could become incredibly powerful. Jack needed the powers of Caleb and all his witch friends. He had left many spider marks on Caleb's home and threatened him, but Caleb realized that gaining too much power would age him rapidly. If Jack collected all those unique powers, he could use them to rejuvenate himself. After all this, Jack left, having normalized everything using his powers, which hinted at just how powerful he truly was. Later, Caleb went to the hospital to see his friend, who had been severely beaten by Jack. The teacher was already there, constantly asking Caleb what was happening. Feeling compelled, Caleb began to share everything, taking her to the house where his elderly father used to live. Caleb explained that they belonged to a witch family with various types of powers. His father had misused all his powers rapidly, causing him to age prematurely. Now, Jack wanted to collect everyone's powers by any means necessary. If Caleb and his friends lost their powers, they would all be in danger. The teacher was determined to help Caleb, refusing to let him die. The day arrived when Caleb would turn 18. He felt that after gaining his full powers, he could confront Jack effectively. However, there was still some time left before he turned 18. Caleb decided to take the teacher and Reed to a party, believing that Jack wouldn't be able to use his powers in front of everyone, making it safer for her. Meanwhile, Caleb went to fight Jack. On the way, Jack directly attacked Caleb's car. Caleb quickly escaped into a farmhouse where Jack was waiting. To his horror, Caleb realized that Jack had captured the teacher and brought her there using his powers, having overpowered her completely. In the face of these events, Caleb charged at Jack, but he was still weaker than him. Nonetheless, he continued to attack Jack, determined to save the teacher and his friends. Caleb felt desperate, realizing he couldn't do much to help them, but then time began to slip away. Caleb had finally turned 18 and gained his full powers, but he still couldn't stand against Jack, who had already been 18 for some time and had significantly increased his strength. It seemed that Caleb was losing the fight. Meanwhile, Caleb's mom approached his father, telling him that their son needed him. However, Caleb's father was unable to move, so he began transferring his powers into Caleb's body. Once the powers were successfully transferred, Caleb's father passed away, and Caleb became incredibly powerful, with his father's abilities now within him. With a single strike, Caleb defeated Jack, causing massive destruction all around him. The next day, Caleb and the teacher were rescued, but they couldn't find Jack's dead body. This led Caleb to believe that Jack might still be alive and had possibly retreated. He knew he had to always be prepared for another confrontation with Jack. And so, our story ends here.